you have a story inside your head, you got to do your best to like get it out and create it. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been working on. But sometimes it can feel overwhelming by the size of the story that you want to tell, and that's why I I'm starting over this story and really focusing on something that I can create that's a little bit shorter and not as big as I originally wanted it to be. At first, wanted to write this really big novel, illustrated novel with a bunch of illustrations in the book, and write this really epic story. But I realized that I had like this overwhelming feeling that um, toward the end of me writing it, I was about 80 pages in to writing it, and I felt like um, the story wasn't as focused as I wanted it to be. It wasn't going where I wanted it to go, and it just overall felt overwhelming to create. And not only that, but I also knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to create something a little bit more visual in the comic book format. And so writing a novel was cool and it was good practice in writing a story, writing dialogue and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I do want to create comics and graphic novels. And so while it was a good practice in writing, um, I just got to get better at my storytelling. And I think the best way to do that is just tell shorter form stories first before you move on to something really big. And so I'm learning, it's all a learning process. And here in the background, I am like redesigning the characters I drew like a year ago for that original story and just working my way through the process of figuring out what the story is, who the main character is, and the actual focus of the story. And so if you are creating a story for yourself, and you feel maybe overwhelmed by it, maybe it's because you are um, trying to do something a little bit too big, a little too overwhelming. And it's crazy because a lot of it is due to like overthinking as well. And that's why I had to just like step back and like really think about the story I want to tell and figure out how I want to tell it. Um, and for me, it's through a comic book. I want to create some type of short form comic, maybe 50, 60 pages, and really just document the process with you here on YouTube and on Patreon, and take you on this journey as I figure out how to get this story out of my head. But I really want to just encourage you to get that story that is in your head out into the world and create something with it, whether it be a novel, comic, whatever it is that you want to create. Uh, just don't give up on it, you know. For me, I have to really. I'm not. It's not like I'm giving up. I just have to readjust and learn from my mistakes. And so I'm reading a new book, reading an old book, and picked up a copy of this book called The Anatomy of Story by John Truby. So I'm reading through that, reading Hirohiko Araki's Manga Theory and Practice, and then John Truby's uh, The Anatomy of Story, and learning a lot. And just want to really create something short, sweet, uh, around the same kind of character, but really just dial in my storytelling skills and just adjust this project to a comic book format, create something that's short, um, and that way I can have like a proof of concept and move on toward creating a bigger story, a larger story around this universe, around these characters. And I would just recommend that you do that as well. Is like create something short first, uh, learn how to write a good story and get some feedback on it, you know, and then move on and create something big. But don't let this process of writing a story like keep you from creating it, you know, and like just being in the thinking phase. It's also important to actually write it, draw it, and actually be creating it and not just like uh, thinking about it all the time, because you can fall into that trap as well as, of like perfectionism. And instead of creating the comic, creating the story, writing the story, you're just thinking about it all the time. And so do your best to uh, get it out your head and uh, create something with it, put it into the world, you know. But yeah, in the background, I was drawing some new characters redesigning old characters, and practicing drawing animals in this part of the video, because I want my worlds to feel alive, and so I want to learn how to draw animals as well, um, and just overall learn how to draw as much as possible so that I can create a world that feels alive. And just practicing these things is crazy how like everything correlates to each other in drawing. Like if you understand the fundamentals of drawing, then you can literally just draw anything and everything. Everything that you see is made up of basic shapes, and drawing is just an observational skill, and that's how we're building. So learning how to draw what you see instead of what you think you see is like the basis of drawing, I guess. But yeah, it's really fun to explore this new idea for this story and this character, and just be a little bit more focused on creating a story that's a little bit shorter, and create something that's finished, a finished product. I want to create at least a 50-page comic, more in like a manga style. I was thinking about coloring it, but maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, so far so good. The good thing about writing the novel, even though didn't complete it, was that I just got my ideas out, and I got my practice in for writing a story and writing dialogue, and I was able to figure out what I like about it and what I don't like about it, and just experiment, have fun. And I think that's the basis of all this, is to make sure that we're having fun and asking ourselves like why we're creating this in the first place, and doing our best to make it happen, you know. Yeah, I'll be documenting the progress of drawing this new comic here on YouTube and on Patreon, and sharing my journey along the way. And so this will be a manga inspired comic, and as I write this, I'll just be sharing the journey with you all here on YouTube, Patreon as well. And I hope that this turns out to be a fun story, entertaining story, because the last comic I made was about a year or two ago, short form comic. And so that's really why I want to recreate a new comic and create something that is a little bit more updated, up to date, and create a finished product out of it, right? So that's the vision, that's the mission. And if you want to learn how to create your own, draw your own characters alongside me, and join me on this journey of creating a new comic project, yeah, you can join me on Patreon, where I am sharing my progress, teaching you what I know, and having fun while doing it. So the brushes that I use are also available in the link in the description for free to download if you want to try the brushes I use, Clip Studio Paint. But yeah, don't give up on your story. Sometimes we just got to readjust. I'm definitely not giving up. I have a vision for this story, and I know that it is a overall fun and entertaining story, and I know it will be better than my last one. So yeah, thank you for watching. Don't give up, keep drawing, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.